one and all. It's a great privilege for me to introduce today's speaker for AICT IST Induction Program, Professor Sudhir Upadhyay. On behalf of AG Patil Polytechnic Institute, I, Mr. Murthy RS, lecturer in Mechanical Engineering Department, welcome today's speaker, Professor Sudhir Upadhyay, Dr. M. A. Chaubale, Coordinator and Principal of Polytechnic, Mr. J. M. Jaketia, Vice Principal, and Mr. S. K. Mohite, Head of Mechanical Engineering Department, my colleagues and dear participants. Today is the fourth day of induction program on research paper writing and IP rights, sponsored by AICT IST New Delhi. Today's topic is role of trademark and overview of IPR laws in India by Professor Sudhir Upadhyay. Before we start, here is the brief profile of Professor Upadhyay sir. He is currently working as professor in Mechanical Engineering Department of A.G. Patil Institute of Technology, Solapur. He has 3 patents on his name and 2 of his patents are in review phase. He has published more than 12 research papers in national and international journals. He has conducted various seminars and workshops on patent procedures and research paper writing and its publications. He is currently reviewer of International Journal of Manufacturing, Materials and Mechanical Engineering. It is a Scopus Index journal. He is also has membership of professional bodies such as International Association of Engineers and Universal Association of Mechanical and Aeronautical Engineers. Really, we are eager to hear some valuable information from you, sir. Thank you. Over to you, Upadhyay, sir.
Thank you, Murthy sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please share your screen.
Yes. Just a second. Okay, I hope this is visible to you. The presentation.
Yes, sir. Presentation has started.
Okay. So, shall I proceed?
PPT is actually not visible currently. Have you started PPT?
Yes, yes. Just a second. I will do it once again.
Yes, sir.
Now is it?
It's good now, sir. Yes, sir. Audio and video is pretty clear now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Murthy sir. And very good afternoon to everyone. I first thank to A.G. Patil Polytechnic Institute to giving me this opportunity to speak on this topic, which is of very much of interest for me and as well as for this particular session. And this induction program is, as you know, is based on these 2 topics, that is research paper writing and the IPR, that is intellectual property rights. In the morning session, we had Professor Dr. Ashwini Kumar. He has discussed about different things regarding the different types of IPR and other things. So my focus on this particular session will be completely on trademarks, its use, different types of trademarks, and basic knowledge regarding the trademarks. How should you go for trademarks and how it is going to help you in your academics, or rather in the startups or businesses like that. Again, I will also touch upon the different types of IPR briefly, and then we will move to the next session, the next part, that is the incubation activity and how these trademarks are are being benefic, or rather we can say are being very advantageous for these incubation centers that are being placed, or that are being started by various government agencies in various institutions, academic institutions. So let us start. Let's start with the trademark. The trademark is actually, you know, that it is one of the intellectual property right. And how do we specify the trademark, or how do we define? Okay, so a name of an enterprise or a mark. So what is a trademark? It is a name of an enterprise or a mark which is capable of being represented graphically. So this underlying word you have to be very focused upon. So what does trademark do? That we can know from this particular uh, words. A name of an enterprise or a mark, okay, that is capable of being represented graphically. You can represent it graphically, you can use colors and what other things that we are going to discuss again. Just focus on these words very carefully, which distinguishing the goods or services of one person from those of others. So for example, two persons are there. Those two person are making the same component or same product and they are selling in the market. So suppose that one person from this two person makes takes a trademark property or trademark guarantee from the government, and he makes the trademark of his product. Now what happens? The product which is being used or which is being sold by these two person is now completely comes under the person A, which has taken the trademark of that particular product. Now there are various types of trademarks that we are going to discuss, but first thing that we should know is that it distinguishes the goods or services from a person from those of others. So it distinguishes the products as well as services. Okay. Now you can see on the screen at the right side, there is a trademark of Coca-Cola, very known. Everybody have seen this type of logo or trademark. Okay. You can see there it has written as trademark. Then you can see a symbol of R which is known as registration, and this particular shape of this particular font and the color can be made as a trademark. So this is how a trademark property looks like. Okay, sometimes you will see there are TM mentioned on the upper side of this logo. So this can also be known as trademark, and R is also, which is a resembling property of trademarks. Okay, now what can be used as a trademark? So here in this slide you can see that a sign, words, letters, numbers, any type of drawing, any picture, emblem, colors, or combination of colors, shape of the good, graphic representation, or packaging, or any combination of the above. Suppose I have a sign and I have a color. Suppose I have words, I have a picture. Suppose I have a sign, I have a graphic representation. So we can blend them and make a trademark. Okay. So these are the basic different things that we should know while going for a trademark for your company, organization, or your customer or startup, whatever you have. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. Then how you can go for registration of a trademark? This is very crucial. Trademarks are registered by national trademark agencies or registries that are valid in that particular country. So for government of India, in our nation, we have government of India authorized trademark facility, that is intellectual property rights office is there, and they have four main offices branches in Mumbai, in Chennai, in Kolkata, and in Delhi. So these are the four basic main head offices, you can call them as, and you can also apply for trademark online. Now earlier it was very difficult to apply for trademark because the process was not so easy. Now it has become so easy that every individual like the shop owner also can register his trademark on his computer within 30 minutes. If he have different uh, types of requirements with him, like you should have a digital signature which is given by different authorities in government in India, and different type of knowledge that is required, like which class and which type. Okay, so this is how registration of trademark has been made easy by this IT revolution. The registration is made after examination and publication. So basically, when you say that your trademark is registered, that means it has gone through examination and also through publication. Now, examination is okay because some of you may think that examination is good. Examination, after examination, they will say that this is a registrable trademark and you can register it. And why publication? Because if you know the basic procedure of granting a intellectual property, when we are going to try a patent, the first phase is examination, then it is getting published, and then we are going to get the grant. In case of design patents or designs, the basic procedure is like that. It is getting examination at first and publication at the latter stage. So this is the basic difference. Okay. Similarly, in this case of trademark, you have to go through publication and examination processes, because publication is very important, because publication allows you to see which type of trademarks have been already registered by whom. Okay. Now the period of registration is for 10 years, but it can be renewed indefinitely. So for your lifetime, you can renew it after 5 or 10 years. There is separate forms for this, and you can log into your account and just apply for that form, and your continuity will be extended. And how this is how you can create different types of trademarks. Now, there are different types and kinds of trademarks rather. The first one is called as marks on goods. Then there is service mark, there is certification trademark, there is collective mark, there is trade names, and as we know, there are logos. Okay. Now let us see what is the basic difference among these. So these slides represent the different types of trademarks. If you see, here a Pepsi can is shown here. This is a product and service. So we can take the trademark for Pepsi. Certification, see ISI certification. Okay, this is another type of trademark. So certification is also shown here with the help of trademark. Geographical indicators like a Darjeeling tea, which shows that this tea has been prepared in Darjeeling, processed in Darjeeling, and manufactured in Darjeeling. So this is how geographical indicators are also used as a trademark. And if you have any organization, and that organization is of education type, or that university type, then you can use that logo or the trademark collectively. Okay. Then there is a logo. As you know, this is a very famous logo of Apple, and this also serves as a trademark. Now we have seen the product mark over here, collective mark, service mark, Infosys and TripAdvisor, service mark, product and service. This is typically how it is going to be different, because Infosys works in the IT sector, which is a service-based industry, and Adidas, Coca-Cola are product-based industry. Certification mark like Wool mark, ISI, Silk mark, these are called as certification marks. Then there are series marks. If you have series of products, then you can take this as a series A, series B, like that. Okay, I hope you are understanding this. Now, this is another example of shape mark, the shape of the bottle. Now, this is a very wonderful example. If you see that this shape of Coca-Cola bottle, you will rarely see this type of shape in the market for another bottle of cold drink or any other type of beverage, because the shape of this particular bottle has been trademarked by the company. Again, the name is also trademarked by the company, which comes under the product mark. Okay. Now here are some examples of pictures or drawings as trademark. We have discussed earlier pictures, signs, words, drawing, graphical representation, and combination of all this can be made as a trademark. So similarly, we can see this is a type of picture. You know these different types of drawings and pictures, and they have been trademarked like Android, Flipkart, Java. Okay. Then there is another type of logo or another type of trademark that we should uh, know, which has evolved just earlier. In these 3 to 4 years it is being used in India. That is three-dimensional shapes. The shape of the object you can see over here, which is a three-dimensional object, and we have to see the front view, the top view, or we have to see the different views. Or this, in this logo you can see that this is a spherical shape and has a slots on it, and you can see that it is a three-dimensional object. Okay, so this is how you can just put a trademark to this logo or to this slogan or words, whatever you have. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. Now, what is protected and what is not protected under the trademark? Now, right to use the trademark in relation to goods or services as registered are protected. You are getting protection from Government of India. If you are applying trademark for India, then you are getting protection from Government of India to use your trademark with relation to your goods and services. So basically, trademark will provide you protection as well as it will ensure your branding. So just like Coca-Cola has done, the word Coca-Cola can be used by any other company if that was not the trademark case. So if they haven't got this trademark, you or me or anyone in the world would have used that Coca-Cola logo, the Coca-Cola sign or the color, the font, anything, but they are not able to use because they have got the protection. So this is how you can use, you have the right to use your trademark for your goods or services, as well as it gives a protection and it gives a benefit factor to your marketing and branding also. Now, if trademark consists of several parts, protection is for trademark as a whole. Now, for example, you have created a trademark, you have created a logo, okay, then you have put a slogan in that, and also you have made some different types of color combination and shapes. Okay, now this is a combination of different types of things under trademark. Okay, so if you are going to work or if you are going to apply for trademark as a whole for this particular logo, then again you are getting the protection as a whole, the trademark as a whole of that complete uh, part or design rather. Okay, now this is very important thing, the third point: state emblems, official hallmarks, emblems of intergovernmental organizations cannot be used as trademarks. So whatever the emblems, the stamps that are available for governmental and intergovernmental organization that cannot be used as a trademark. That is to be kept in mind. Now, what is the value of trademark? Okay, just I have told you that it is used for branding purpose. It is used for as a marketing tool. For marketing purpose, you can use your trademark very brilliantly. I will share one example also how they have used trademarks and how they have collected more profit by using trademark. Okay, then it can give a source of revenue through licensing. You can license your trademark. A crucial component of franchising agreement. Nowadays you can see there are different types of franchises are coming, like milk franchisees, ice cream franchisees, hotel, restaurant franchisees. Okay. Now, in that case, this will be a very crucial intellectual property between the two parties when they are going to get the agreement done. So, trademark will help there. Useful for obtaining bank finances or other third party finances. Again, if you have a trademark registered in your name, the banks or the third party finances from where you are going to get the funding for your venture or startup or business, it is very important to have the trademark with you, because they will understand that you have gone through all these trademark processes. That means that gives a sense that you are very serious about this particular thing. Because if you don't have these kind of things and just go with your business plan to the uh, banking officials, what they will say, they will see that the potential of the plan is good, but what will the trademark or IPR will help you? How this is going to help you is like that. The IPR or trademark obtained before going to this banking official will definitely uh, impact like that key you have worked on the different aspects of this business and you are serious, and this is why they will definitely consider your plan for further processing. And this is again a valuable business asset. How this is going to be a valuable business asset, that I am going to teach you, or rather discuss you in this particular uh, case. Now, this is a very interesting case. This is called IKEA. IKEA, many of you may have visited IKEA store or IKEA online store rather, and you know of this particular company. This is a billion-dollar company. This IKEA is a internationally known home furnishing retailer with the vision of creating a better everyday life for the many people. Okay, that's okay. The company's products are flat pack, ready to be assembled for the by the consumer. So what do? They sell different types, different categories of furniture, and most uh, valued or most maximum sold things are flat pack, ready to be assembled furnitures. Okay, that assembly can be done by anyone who is going to buy these furniture. So this is the basic work that IKEA does. Now, IKEA is valued at about 18 billion US dollars. Currently, its value is 18 billion US dollars. It has more than 445 stores in the world. So, if you consider 18 billion dollars and 445 billion stores in the world itself, so you can imagine how much a single store is going to provide the revenue to this particular company. In 2020, the global gross profit of IKEA is about 11.7 billion euros, which is more than 18 billion dollars. Okay, so this is the profit. Now, the point is that I am going to make is the trademark. As you see on the screen, the IKEA trademark registered. has been registered, but earlier the trademark was different. The trademark was of red and white color, and it was a circular one, and different types of changes happened over the time because this company uh, is from Sweden, is originated from Sweden, and it is headed by, founded by Ingvar Kamprad, as you can see here. Now, what he has done over the time, the logo has been changed, and uh, I think it is formed in 1940s. The IKEA company has been uh, inaugurated in Sweden, and then the journey started from there. Now, in 2020, almost 12 billion euros they are making the profit, and how they are using this profit. Because if you see, is not owned by IKEA company. Keep this in mind, how they are using the trademark as an asset and as a profit making tool. The company owned by Ingvar Kamprad is no more, but the his descendants are taking care of that. So the company doesn't own this IKEA trademark. What he has done, he was a very clever man. What he has done, he registered the trademark with a trust. He formed a trust, like different types of trust. We have educational trust, religious trust, right? So he formed a trust over in his country and registered this trademark through his trust. Now what he does, he shares the profit of IKEA to that trust. Now the sharing of profit or making any donation to that trust is considered as tax free. So the basic thing that is making paying tax to government has been reduced drastically, and this is why they are making so much of profit. Okay, and that profit is directly going to the trust, and this trust has been owned by this person and his family. So it is like the IKEA has used trademark as a profit making tool. Instead of going with registering the trademark with the company, they have gone with like registering the trademark with other source, and from that source they are going to get the money. So this is how the value of trademark or the trademark can be used for different types of uh, profit making tool, marketing tool, rather another type like business tool, branding tool. Okay, so this is how trademark is valued. Now, scope of rights. Now you are going to get the exclusive right to use the mark or the trademark, rather the right to prevent others from using an identical or similar mark for identical or similar goods or services. This is second right you are going to get. And the right to prevent others from using the same logo or mark for new good or services. This is difference. Okay, the same trademark or logo or mark for similar product, and this mark for new product. These are two different things. You should be aware of that. Okay, so the first thing is you are going to get exclusive right to use the mark, obviously, that we have discussed earlier also. The second thing is similar product, similar goods or services, and similar trademark. This is one scenario, and similar goods and similar trademark and new type of goods or services. So in these two scenarios, we are going to get the rights. Also, the exclusive right to use the mark, that is obvious that we are going to get from this. Now, some practical aspects I would like to tell you. Whenever you are going to create or buy a trademark, sometimes you need to buy trademark. This is a very rare case because in India, almost 1 and 1.5 lakh uh, trademarks are applied on the monthly basis. So this is a very huge thing happening over the period from last 3 years. Now, what you have to do, you have to search for the trademark that you have created. Is there any similar type of trademark available? So, in the case that suppose in the scenario you want to search it in the country of India itself, or you want to take this to the worldwide level. So you can go through intellectual property rights office, government of India, and uh, with the help of them you can go worldwide also. Okay, so whenever you create or buy a trademark, you have to go for searching in worldwide or wherever you are going to register, because this helps to avoid claims, refusals or oppositions. What I have told earlier, the examination happens after the publication. Okay, so why does this publication is done? Publication is done to see whether some infringement is going to is going to happen. Okay, so to check that infringement, the publication is necessary. And in that case, suppose someone has applied for a trademark, his trademark is published, and another person who has done the same trademark earlier, but he didn't apply it, but he is using that somewhere in the product. Okay, so in that case, what will be the scenario? He is going to claim that this type of trademark is of mine, and I have been using this for last 10 years. So this could create a mess. So these type of things should be avoided. That is why proper searching is a very must thing before creating or buying a trademark. Protect your trademark through your national or regional office and then extend it to the world. As I have said, you have to go to your national authority first, and then you should go to the international system. That is WIPO. WIPO is a World Intellectual Property Right Organization that will help you to apply for this particular trademark things. Use and maintain your trademarks. See, using a trademark and maintaining a trademark are very important things, because whenever you are going to apply for trademark, at that case you are going to take the help of patent attorney or a lawyer or a person who is going to help you for trademark, right? So you are going to pay the fees for them. Now what happens after few years, the trademark uh, gets some issues with the claims, or sometimes it gets it has to be renewed. Like in first case, I said that after 10 years you have to make it renew. Now, while doing your business, starting your business, you are starting from day one and you have registered your trademark, and 10 years will be a very less time. You will not know how these 10 years have gone, and now the renewal process is get starting. Now you are a brand in the market, everyone is knowing you, your trademark is very famous, but by the time you forgot to renew it, what will happen? Your trademark will go on to someone else. Now it is very difficult to start over again. Now in that case, you have to make the maintenance. So this is very important. Similarly, if you want to extend the territory, you want to create this, use this trademark in the different other countries. In that case also you have to maintain the trademarks. Now enforce your trademarks, innovate, develop new products. This is a very important aspect. Whenever you get a trademark, you should go with a simple single product, as well as you should going innovative in your product, and for that new products you should use trademark that you have developed. So these are some of the practical aspects you should know about trademarks. Some things you should keep in mind: the time takes to register a trademark. Generally, it will take a month to register a trademark, minimum a month to register a trademark in India with online process. Okay. In India, the cost associated with trademark protection, rather application of trademark, starts from 5,500 rupees, and it may vary depending on the type of trademark and from whom you are getting this service. Okay. The need for trademark search, as I have mentioned, you must search different trademarks on the website of Government of India's IPR office before going to apply for trademark, because there are number of trademarks already registered by all lots of people, and it should not like that you have submitted one application without searching and it has shown that this is the same as another person from another state. So in that case, your trademark application will be abandoned and you have to make the application once again. Once again, the procedure has to be followed. So for this, you may require a trademark agent. It is advisable to go with trademark agent because he knows all the things. It may cost you some money, but it will definitely help you to not indulge yourself in these different non-productive thing. Rather, you should focus on your productivity. So I will suggest you to go with the official agent of trademark or CA or a lawyer. Then protection at home and abroad. Now, suppose if you are a startup and you are not a small business, you are a small business and not a big business, and you don't want to go abroad right now, but you want to concentrate, focus on your home country, and protecting at your homeland is of utmost importance. So, firstly, you have to go to your government office and you have to ask for trademark protection. And whenever you are going to uh, go abroad with your product, in that case only you should go for that WIPO Madrid that I have told you, that WIPO convention. So TRIPS is called as that. And the last one is renewing your registration, that is maintenance. This is very important because if you yourself apply for this trademark or patents and all other things, you will not able to sometimes to respond in time, and this may create a mess, and your patent or your design or your trademark may get abandoned. So this will create a mess. So maintenance is also necessary. So maintenance should be with that person whom you are hiring for that services. Okay, so these are the things you should keep in mind. Now let's get to the next topic of discussion: different types of IPRs and incubation of idea. Uh, Uh, in the morning, Dr. Ashwini Kumar has told or rather discussed different types of IPR, and many other session have been done on IPR. So I am just going briefly touch these types of IPR. As you can see in this particular image, what are the different components or products that you are able to see? Can anyone just read this out? Anyone? Can anyone just read these out? Types of IPR. What are the things that you are seeing on the screen? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, so can you just hello?
Types of IPR. Hello. Hello.
Patent. Ah, yes, yes. You are audible.
Uh, yes, sir. Types of IPR you have
You are
already
audible.
shown.
Just go ahead.
You have already shown in the picture.
You are going in right direction. Types of IPR. There is a patent, there is a trademark, industrial design, geographical indication, patent, trade secret, trademark, industrial design, geographical indications. Okay, let me discuss in brief what are these different types of IPR. Okay, the trademark that we already discussed, how the trademark or logo has been trademarked by Apple. So this is called as a trademark. Okay. Now patent. What is a patent? Utility patent. There are two different types of patent: patents and designs. In India, we call designs as a industrial design, or we call it as design registration, and patent is a patent. But in abroad, when you go to USA or UK, they call patent as a utility patent and design as a design patent. So both of are of same category. So uh, rather we can say that both of them are equally important. Now let us discuss about patent. What is a patent? So this is a ceiling fan with different type of components, different type of structure in that, and it is going to change or save your electricity bill by say 90%. Okay, so what they have done, I'm just telling one example. So what they have done, they have done different configuration of different materials and structures and electronic circuits such that the electricity bill of your ceiling fan will reduce by 90%. So this is a good idea, so they have patented it. Similarly, the screen touch mobile phone that is uh, being developed by Apple had been patented by them, because before that screen touch mobile phones were not available. Okay, so that is why it was innovative and they have patented it. So basically the thing is that you should have a innovative thing to get a patent. Now I will uh, touch this part also, innovation and invention, and how to convert your innovation into money. That is also the part of this lecture. So stay tuned for that. Right now, just consider that patent is nothing but an innovative thing that you have done, and it is practically applicable, and it is shown it can be used to reduce some efforts, or in this case reduce the electricity bill. So novelty, innovativeness, non-obviousness, these are the things I think you have all gone through these different IPR sessions, so you know that know these things. Okay, so this is how patent is to be taken. Now what is the industrial design? Industrial design is the shape of this component. Suppose they have applied for the shape of this particular component. Again, in this case of Coca-Cola bottle, the bottle shape is a trademark as well as industrial design. It comes under industrial design or design patent. So they have obtained the design patent. So that is why you can't see this type of bottles for other different type of beverages. Okay, so this is how design, the outer shape of the component or product is called as industrial design, or it is considered for the industrial design. It should be unique one, it should be manufacturable, and it should provide some advantages. Okay, then there is a geographical indication. This is a Tirupati Laddu. Do you get this Tirupati Laddu in every corner of the world or every corner of India? No, probably not, because they have this particular mixture of different materials which are being used for making laddu, and these types of laddu has been created before say 200-300 years ago, I think. Okay, so that is why the laddu is not a patentable one. Okay, you can add anything in that. Okay, but it has been used, it is being used in Tirupati. That is why this Tirupati laddu has got geographical indication. Similarly, these type of chappals, these are slippers or type of chappals, different types of chappal made of leather, which is available in Kolhapur, Maharashtra. Now these are called as Kolhapuri chappal. These are geographical indicators. Now what does this geographical indication denotes? This type of thing are only manufactured in Kolhapur. These type of things, laddus, are only manufactured in Tirupati. So whenever you are going to going to purchase a laddu, Tirupati laddu, you have to order it from Tirupati itself. You are not going to order it from Big Bazaar or DMart from your hometown. You are not going to get there, right? You have to get it from there. Or sometimes, in this case, these Kolhapuri chappals can be brought here by some franchisee model. This is how this geographical indication works. Now we have seen patent, we have seen industrial design, we have seen trademarks, we have seen geographical indication, and the last one is a trade secret. Now this trade secret comes under the business model. What is your business model, or what is the chemical composition, or what is the material composition of your product? This comes under the trade secret. Now Coca-Cola, the beverage, has some certain unique formula. By that formula, they prepare this cold drink. And there is a myth like this formula is known to only two persons from this company, and they never met in lifetime. So these two peoples again, they never meet in lifetime. They just has to hand over these formulas to their descendants, to their childs, or whoever the person is taking care of them. Okay, so this is how trade secrets are used. Trade secrets in India are not very famous because it has a lot of complications, and not that type of trade is being done in India, but we will see some different type of compositions or chemical composition rather, and we will see some trade secret. But right now, it is there is nothing notable under the trade secret. Okay, so these are the different types of intellectual property rights and how we can use. So this particular Coca-Cola company has patented the industrial design. It has patented the process of making Coca-Cola. It has trademark of this logo, and it has a trade secret of its composition. So see how intellectual property right has been used for this particular product, and this is why this product is so valued in the industrial sector. Coca-Cola is valued at very high price in the business sector. Okay, so this is how you can use intellectual property rights for your betterment, for your products betterment, your service betterment, and everything that you aspire. So intellectual property rights will definitely help you. And in India, the I would like to tell you that just 2 days before came to know that Global Innovation Index has been published by World Intellectual Property Rights Organization (WIPO), and they have mentioned that in last 2 years in India, patents designs filing from India has been increased. And again, the position of India in Global Innovation Index has been risen from 48 to 46. So India is currently at the 46th rank in the world in case of innovation. Now they had different parameters for that. The research and development activities, the expenditure done on research and development, the patents that are being filed and granted per year. Likewise, different categories were there, and they have analyzed different things, and certainly they have found it very good. And I remember in 2015, it was on somewhere in the 80s, 81, 82, or something like that, in 2015, India in the Global Innovation Index, and now it is at the 46th level. And you will not be amazed, and I am also not be amazed if by coming 2 or 3 years we will be in the top 15, 15. So this is how these intellectual property rights are going to help us in our uh, different tasks or aspirations. Now let us discuss about invention or innovation and innovation. You know this example, Facebook. Everyone uses it. Everyone knows Facebook. Now, is Facebook a invention or innovation? I want everybody to think upon this. Is it invention or innovation? Just for a minute, think upon invention or innovation. And if anybody is interested to tell me it is invention or innovation, you are free to speak. We are going to discuss invention, what is invention and what is innovation. Before that, I just want to check how many of you have this confusion of invention and innovation. Because as an academician, you might have gone through this word innovative. You should have an innovative product. You should have an innovative thing. You should do innovation in your college. You should do innovate yourself. You should innovate everything. But what is innovation? That is of very utmost importance. You should know about it. Can anyone just tell me Facebook is invention or innovation? Just unmute yourself and let me know. Anyone? Invention or innovation? Okay, I think everybody has their lunch, so very reluctant to speak. So let me tell you what Facebook has done. Facebook has used internet facility and created one program. In that program, or by using that program, what we are able to do, we are able to see our loved ones or friends, and we are able to connect with them, right? This is the basic thing that Facebook does. Okay, let's go further. The internet, is it an invention or innovation? The internet that you use, www, World Wide Web, the internet itself is invention or innovation. Now, what I have told earlier, Facebook has used internet to create that particular program and to provide to its customers. Now, how does this work? The Facebook is a innovation. We can take it as Facebook as innovation, and internet is a invention itself. Okay, so next time whenever you are going to ask your students to do a project, tell them to make innovation. Ask them to innovate, not to invent, because invention are not done regularly on frequent basis. It just happens. There is no hard and strict rule to invent anything. Invention are just happens. Okay, so you just can't ask the people or the person or the student to just invent a thing, just invent a thing, invent a product. How can they? Okay, so the difference, basic difference between innovation and invention is clear, I hope. The innovation is one, Facebook. The invention is internet. That you keep in mind. Now, what is invention versus innovation? This is for comparison, invention, innovation. Let us start. Meaning, first. Invention refers to the occurrence of an idea for a product or process that has never been made before. So, for the example of internet, do you think the internet existed before the invention of internet? I don't think so. So this is called as invention. The thing that was not there earlier, it is called as invention. That you have created now, it is called as invention. What is innovation? Innovation implies the implementation of idea for product or process for the very first time. So Facebook has done, what has Facebook done? They have used the internet facility. They have identified a problem. They have combined both these things and came with a solution that by using this app or this internet facility, you can just connect with your friends. You can share the pictures and videos. You can greet them. You can talk to them. You can chat with them. This is called as innovation. Very first time they are implementing, they are blending these two things and making it as a new product or a process. This is called as innovation. So basically, invention is creation of completely new product. Invention is completely new product. Innovation is adding value to the something already existed. So internet was there, but nobody thought of that thing that we should create this type of interface, and using the internet we are going to do this, and like that we are going to be the top or biggest company in multimedia or biggest company in the world. So this is how innovation helps. Okay, so adding value to something already existing is called as innovation. When does invention and innovation occurs? Invention occurs when a new idea strikes a scientist or a person. Now, why I put scientist over here? Because scientists are the people who are running behind these particular things. They want to invent something. Many of the time you have heard that some XYZ scientist was working on XYZ thing and he had invented the ABC thing, another thing. These are very usual things that we learn about inventions, right? So that is why I told that invention not occurs by continuous efforts. If you know that what is the basic What is the aim or what you are going to achieve through this continuous process or methodology that you are using. In that case, sometimes you get inventive thing, but in my opinion, I may be wrong. The idea has to be strike to the person or the scientist, and then he invents a thing. So a kind of supernatural thing. Okay, but what is in our hand? Innovation is our hand. In our hand, innovation happens when a need is filled for a product or improvement in existing product. So, taking the example of Facebook, there was a need of a platform where people can greet each other, meet with each other, contact with each other, and at very low cost. So this is how the innovation of Facebook has been done, and they have created a product. Sometimes you can improve the existing product. So there could be another examples for this. So improving the existing product by making some different innovative thing or innovative values adding in that, you can go for innovation or a new product. Okay. Now innovation is equal to invention into execution. This is the theory that Facebook has used. Innovation is equal to invention into execution. So invention of what? Invention of internet was already there, so they didn't have to worry about this. They just have to worry about the execution, how they are going to use this invention for the solving problem or for their product. Okay, so this is how invention into execution leads to innovation. Let us take an example how the money factor, the factor that everyone wants to create, the value factor, business value, how it is work, how does this work? Suppose I have a weak idea, its value in rupees is rupees 10. Okay, then I execute that idea just like a normal thing, or you can call it as weak execution. Okay, I don't just interfere in that, I didn't put my wholehearted effort in that, I just executed it. Okay, so what happens? The value of this execution is rupees 10. So 10 into 10, it becomes the business value of that idea is rupees 100 only. Okay, suppose I have a slightly good idea. The worth of that idea is rupees 100, and I have worked on it slightly in the good manner. The value of that execution is 100, so 100 into 100, it becomes 10,000. The business value of your idea is 10,000. Now, good idea, I have a good idea, better than this second idea. The value of this idea is 1000, and I have executed it good in the good way. The value of execution is 1000. So 1000 into 1000, we have got 10 lakh rupees of business from this good idea. Now suppose I have a brilliant idea. This is a rare case, but brilliant idea. The value of the idea is rupees 10,000, and I execute this brilliantly. Then I get the value of this execution as 10,000, 10,000 into 10,000. What? How much it becomes? Crores, 10 crores. So this is the business value of this particular idea. Now this execution thing is very important. How do you execute your idea? Suppose I have a brilliant idea and I do the execution or weak execution. 10,000 into 10, 1 lakh or something like that. Okay, so you can use this table like this: brilliant idea, weak execution, 10,000 into 10, how much business value you can create. You have good idea and so execution. Similarly, you can go with weak idea and brilliant execution. You can get same amount of money or business value can be created from this particular thing. So this is of very much of importance for innovation and invention. The difference and what is innovation? It is nothing but invention into execution. Now the last part that I must uh, emphasis on, because nowadays you can see that there are a number of incubation centers are being set by government of India in various academic institutions and universities. So as a incubation center, we have this incubation center at our institute, at A.J. Patil Institute of Technology, and which is sponsored or rather granted by Ministry of Small and Medium Scale Industries, that is MSME, and under which we are going to empower the people and incubate the innovations that are being created in the region. So for that particular thing, we have organized one Ideathon, that is Ideathon 2021, and tomorrow itself it has its finals, and uh, we have received around 250 ideas from different regions of India, and we are going to get the final results tomorrow. And the reason that I included this part in this particular session is the incubation is of very much of importance, because many of the uh, industrialist or businessman in India, uh, specifically speaking India, they are very optimistic about the startups, and they are very uh, focusing. They are very much of they are putting every effort they can put to build this startup ecosystem, because if you know these different types of startups like Zomato, Swiggy, um, then Policy Bazaar, and all these technology startups that you can see around you. These are the uh, what you can say, these are the driving factors for these type of incubation center. So incubating an idea in an incubation center is of very much of important in today's case, since you can see that different types of jobs are getting obsolete. Students are not getting job in core sector. They are getting jobs in IT sector. Mechanical and other students are getting jobs in IT sector. So where does this lead? Where it is going to go? What is the end result of this? So out of this thinking and out of churning out these things, I have decided to just briefly in 5 minutes I will be telling this, and after that we will have a question answer session. So we have this incubation center over here, and we are here to empower the people and incubate the innovation. Innovation, what is innovation? I just told you. What actually we are going to do, we are going to incubate the early stage entrepreneurs which are based on technology and innovation. We are going to give them physical infrastructure. We are going to give them facilities like consultants, expert, advisor, mentors. And we are also going to help them identify their innovations or technology, or we can just transform their technologies from an idea to the product. And our aim is to promote and foster the spirit of entrepreneurship. Okay, so this is how the incubators are being used for different startup activities, and we welcome any of these participants from this uh, induction program who would like to um, contact us regarding incubation. And in incubation center we have expertise from IPR. So if you have any things that you want to apply for IPR and you are not getting a proper guidance, so you can contact us at any time. So this is all about my presentation, and thank you for patiently listening to me, and this is the end. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Modgi sir, I think
If
we can take
participants are having,
open questions
uh,
if they have
yes,
any.
yes, participants, if you have any query, you can ask.
You can put it in the chat box if you don't want to speak. Just put it in the chat box. One thing I must tell here, in our incubation center at A.G. Patil Institute, we are providing these IPR services, like for you want to apply for design, want to apply for patent, you want to apply for trademark. So we are here to help you at very low cost compared to all other things that you know about IPR, how much costly they are. So we will be helping you with minimum cost. So if you have any things or projects or anything that you want to get in IPR protection, you just contact to us. My contact number is being shared in the group. I will share the contact number also. If you have anything to share with me, you can just call me anytime. I will put my contact number in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, all. It was very informative session by Professor Upadhyay sir. It was a great pleasure to understand role of trademarks and laws of intellectual properties. I'm sure that all participants will apply the knowledge gained from your session. On behalf of organizing committee of A.G. Patil Polytechnic Institute, Solapur, I acknowledge the valuable contribution of today's expert person, Professor Sudeep Upadhyay. I would like to thank all participants who have attended today's session. With the permission of dignitaries, we would conclude this session. Feedback and test link will be shared on WhatsApp group after 30 minutes. Thank you everyone. Have a good day ahead. Thank you, sir.